We're starting a new series now, and we're calling it the 4x4. As a little prelude to what we're going to do, we finished the major arcana, the 22 cards. These cards represent the two trees of Kabbalah, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, both mentioned in the Bible. The 22 cards of the major arcana illustrate the lessons in those two trees. I suspect that originally there was a deck of playing cards that had 4 suits and aces to kings in each suit. In other countries, they have different names for the suits, but it generally comes down to the 4 suits with the cards ace to king in each suit. I believe that there already was a deck of playing cards of that nature in evidence, and the way that the early practitioners of tarot hid their messages was in those 22 cards, the trumps. They tacked them onto an ordinary deck of playing cards to keep them hidden in plain sight. In tarot, we've got the major arcana, and in a reading, we treat those as forces beyond our own. A major arcana card is something that's going to happen. They relate perfectly to the two trees. The minor arcana are in effect a slightly altered regular deck of playing cards that we use for tarot and for fortune telling. And you don't have to. You can do all the fortune telling with just the major arcana if you want. The minor arcana does add some nuance to your readings. Basically, as we said, the major arcana, it's a very one-to-one relationship with the two trees. The minor arcana, to a lesser degree, are they related to the two trees because they were in evidence before. So we've had to do a little shoehorning to wiggle them in. When the cards come up, when the minor arcana comes up in a reading, we use the pictures on the card as a sort of self-evident way of explaining what the card means. In the back of our mind, we keep the fact that this card is also represented by its numbers. All the 1 cards have a similar aspect. All the 5 cards have a similar background. So this is Tarot, the 4x4 series. Today, we leave the realm of the major arcana. The focus of this series is really fortune telling. We have the tarot cards. We've learned the tarot cards and their meanings. And perhaps by doing the Two Fools' Journeys, we get a sense of what each of the major arcana cards are. And we learn from them as we learn them. And now it's time to play with the cards. We're going to tell fortunes, predict futures, analyze love lives, dissect work environments, and interpret relationships. We can use the cards for this. It's fun. If you did it twice to the same person, you get 2 different readings. The purpose of the cards is not to prove that the future is fixed. The purpose of the cards is to use our subconscious in a way that enables us to make an imaginary future that might provide some details that we hadn't thought of. Back to the aces. We have the 4 aces. They're all very similar. The sign of the suit emerging in a hand from a cloud. Behind the aces is a concept that we're going to look at. And it's a very useful concept when we're doing fortune telling. It enables us to not only explain the card, but it will give the aspirant some homework. It is a piece of concrete advice that you can offer the person that you're telling their fortune. The concept behind the aces is not just the beginning, which the one card is. It's the beginning. It's not just the beginning. It's the movement or transformation of ideas into reality. The aces, like the top card, the magician, like the top Sephirah, Keter, is all potential. Everything that does exist, has exist, or can exist, exists in that realm. In the top bubble or circle of the tree of life and the tree of knowledge lies this area in which everything that can be imagined or one day will be imagined exists, but it's not in reality. It's not corporeal yet. The concept behind the aces is that suddenly something has appeared in your life that could take root, that could grow, but only through an effort on your part. The one cards or aces correspond to the first Sephirah on the tree of life, the magician. We see on the table of the magician all the four signs. He's got the cups, the staffs, the swords, and the coins, which are like the aspects of the earth, all laid out before him. Everything is there. There's nothing missing. Can he utilize them? We'll remember also, we keep in the back of our mind that the aces can also be represented in the one card on the tree of knowledge, the hangman. And as a recap, we know that Keter, the very top of the tree of life and the tree of knowledge, is represented on the one side by the magician, where all possibilities are in evidence, and on the other tree as the hangman, a man with a halo around his head, a brilliant genius who is simply not recognized by those around him. Perhaps he's feared by those around him. The concept behind the aces is that there is the beginning of something that can be great in your life. It is not going to be given to you on a silver platter, but if you work towards it, the forces of the universe will help propel you towards that goal. We'll concentrate now on the tree of life, which is sort of the overview image of reality, and the images of the tree of knowledge. It will further enrich our explanations. The number one card is the magician. He contains all possibilities. As we see in the hangman, genius is not always appreciated in its own time. And we'll see this again and again, where it's not enough to have the good idea. It's the good idea put into practice at the right time. No one thought the hula hoop would change the world, but it did. A personal watercraft was brought out by Skidoo, and it never took off until years later. A similar product was brought out by another company, and now they're all over the place. A good idea is what the aces all suggest, but there's one more step. That good idea has to have something from you that will enable it to exist in this world. You have to take a chance. You have to make something concrete. But still, the aces live in Keter, the highest Sephirah, and anything that ever exists is, in a sense, born in that realm. However, like Keter, like the magician, the aces contain only ideas. They are perfectly good blueprints for creation. So this is showing you the road, and you have to take that road, even though at the beginning the trail may be a little bit rough. Aces, when you're reading fortunes and dealing out the cards, and somebody gets an ace, it means you have good ideas. Not just clever ideas, good ideas. Ideas that, if acted on now, will grow, will manifest. You are on the right path. Your ideas aren't trying to fool you. They aren't nonsense. When this card shows up, it suggests that your ideas are valid. This is a good time for your ideas to flourish. However, and this will come up again and again, this yes but idea of the aces. However, for now, they are concepts. They're just concepts, and they do not exist in reality. The aces indicate in general that now is the time to bring your ideas into reality. The aces are not telling you that your ideas are going to suddenly make you wealthy or powerful or happy or whatever. The aces say that now is the time to work on your ideas and make them live outside of your head. Let's try to express these ideas in a reading. And that's what we're really talking about now. Tarot cards used in fortune telling. We want to reassure the aspirant that her ideas are excellent. That's what the aces are telling us. Your ideas are great. Then we want to encourage her to express these ideas. We're saying now is the time to take these ideas and do something with them. Understanding that at first they will be imperfect, but to plow ahead anyway. Finally, we can gently remind her, this is talking about a person who has received an ace in a reading, we can gently remind her that ideas alone are likely to be misunderstood. It is creation through action that enable her ideas to be manifest and real. There's a risk involved. In your head, the ideas may seem perfect, but in practice, you may be frustrated that the ideas don't come out as perfection, but that's just part of the process. When you receive an ace, it says, now is the time to act. We'll do some suggestions in a reading. If this card appears, we can say something like this. So let's say you're doing a fortune for someone and the Ace of Cups comes down. We could say something like this. This is the Ace of Cups. It is a sign of joy and happiness. The Ace of Cups tells us that the time is right for you to begin having an actual joyous life, one of security, love, fulfillment, and positive emotions. So the Ace of Cups has just come up. It suggests the beginning of joy and happiness. And now we do the but. The but, there is a warning here. Great ideas are not always made into reality. A lot of great ideas die with the creator of these ideas. There is an action required from you. Examine the sources of your happiness. What is it that really makes you happy? The time is right for you to make an effort in that direction and take a chance. If you honestly work towards your own personal happiness, that joy will grow in yourself and spread to others. So that's if you get this card, the Ace.
I'm wondering if you could put it up against your cup so when you're speaking about it, then we all see it there.
I could try that, but then I can't drink my coffee.
No, that's true.
We'll take a look now at the Ace of Coins. Now I'm going to put it down. How about it? The Ace of Coins. As we know, it's about money. More specifically, it's a sign of personal wealth. And of course, that might be a little different from money depending where you are. A reminder that in this card, there is no sense of greed or selfishness. This is not a card of high fashion or impressing others. Personal wealth is necessary to some extent. It is our means to independence. We are not a complete person if we don't have a degree of personal wealth, because we will be dependent, we'll be like a puppet and someone else will be pulling the strings. The Ace of Coins says now is the time to act. Plans for making money are only ideas. And of course, wealth will not come from only ideas. Use your intellect and follow the path in your mind that you have for achieving some form of personal Well, some of the obvious ideas or steps in that direction are saving, doing without, and we see that again and again in the cards, that idea of restriction, invest, acquire, do the real things necessary to begin to not be dependent on others for food and housing. I say all this just so we don't confuse wealth as a lesser goal than power or happiness. It's a necessary goal.
Could you remind your viewers why you're calling it coins and not pentacles?
Okay, I do have that a little later in,
Okay.
but yeah, I'll wait till we come to it. But you're right, we did change that name for certain reasons, but it is coming up. Okay, we're going to move now to the Ace of Swords. We remember that swords are the sign of power. We remember in the tarot cards, depictions of power are things like a naked child on a horse, a lady subduing a lion without hurting it. True power, we'll see, is free from demonstration, from bragging. The Ace of Swords, we are in the zone of power now. This card suggests that your strength will start serving you. So if we're doing a reading and the person gets the Ace of Swords, their power is going to start to increase. How will they know how to make this power increase? It will be a feeling, it will be something in their head, an idea they've had for some time, and this card is going to release it. This card says, now is the time. Your personal power is starting to be recognized by others. And the but to this is again, but remember, real power does not embody insecurity or cruelty. There'd be no need for that. Real power is never shown. You don't have to swagger, demonstrate, threaten, or bring up times when you exercise power effectively. The use of power, swords, which is what swords is, always brings a measure of sadness. And as we've studied swords and we've worked our way through the deck, we will see that in every case, the use of swords will cut the wielder a little bit. It's just the nature of what swords is. We'll move now to staffs, which are your plans, often called your enterprise. We don't call them wands because wands have sort of a magical implication which is not part of this card. It's not part of the meaning of staffs. Staffs is a more concrete thing. Staffs refer to your plans, the things that you want to do. They are your ideas that you have crafted into a plan. This plan is detailed, has been on your mind for some time. These are things you would say to someone who has received the Ace of Staffs in a reading. They have had plans in their head for some time. They've been mulling over some of the aspects of this. The Ace of Staffs tells us that the time is right now for you to make these ideas real. It is the best time to make the first steps of your plan to actually happen in the real world. As we mentioned before, with coins, we don't call them pentagrams, as Jocelyn was saying, because of the so-called magical implication of pentagrams and that kind of idea. As we said, staves, there's no magic involved. They're not wands. They're staves. They refer to work and ideas and enterprise. And coins refer also to the things that make us comfortable, the things that protect us from being destitute. The Ace of Coins is a very practical suit, as is the Ace of, as is the suit of Staffs. That's why we don't like anything that involves kind of magic with them. Do you want to put this up?
Right, no.
Right there,
Yeah.
okay. Coins. This is an opportunity. Again, if we laid this card down to a person, we'd say, this is an opportunity for you to make money or gain wealth. Money is not just coming to you. The message here is that if you take advantage of an opportunity or job now, it is likely to bring you some degree of wealth. There is a sort of career path that appeals to you. It is being offered now, the very beginning, the thin end of the wedge. Although it is not instant wealth, it could be, for you, a path to riches. And just to sort of wrap up the aces are a sort of a yes, but card. Yes, something good is being offered in a certain area. It'll be in one of the suits. Something good is being offered, but you have to do more than imagine or wish to receive it or wait for the windfall to arrive. Aces mean that what seems small now could develop into something great. Aces involve a sense of optimism and a sense of patience. Aces also indicate an area, love, wealth, plans, or power, where you should invest your best interests right now. Okay.
I'll trade.
Oh, you're going to trade me. I've got your sheet. Thanks, Joyce. So we're doing the aces with a focus on fortune telling and how to extract ideas from the cards in a practical way that will make sense to the aspirant or the person you're reading cards for.
Are aces like a gift from God?
No. Well, yes and no. No. Aces are like a roadmap from God. Aces are beginnings. Aces indicate rewards for your efforts. So in a sense, a roadmap from God is a gift, but it's not going to do you any good if you don't follow it. So aces are like a roadmap. The next step is something you have to do. It's not an automatic gift.
How do aces suggest the Hanged Man?
Aces in general indicate a talent, inclination, or aptitude that could bring a degree of greatness into your life. All those things in your imagination and your mind, the ace will suggest now is the time to act on one of these things. The hangman is latent greatness or potential success. With the aces, we strive to manifest the magician, where all things are possible. That's optimistic. It means that you're heading in the right direction. The magician brings ideas into reality. The hangman is what happens to the person who receives the ace, who has a chance of making something great in their life, but they sit idly by and let the opportunity just pass. So what was that saying that friend just, paralysis due to analysis. And some people think so long about something that they make themselves unable to do anything.
Are aces good news?
They can be. It's more like aces suggest that your wise efforts in a certain area will result in good news. Aces mean if you make effort in this area, it's going to be good for you. Again, it is not an automatic gift, and it will not be responsive to a handout. This requires effort.
What lesson does the Ace of Swords suggest?
The Ace of Swords suggests that with personal effort, you will gain power. Remember that swords describe power. That's what they are. Strength. With power, it's not about being a bully or being able to exact revenge. It is about being able to do what you want with a certain amount of freedom. And that's the kind of strength that we want. The lesson, and this is seen all through the suit of swords, is to keep your power hidden. If you have a degree of power and you show it, it's a form of ignorance. It won't serve you, and it will make you look a little bit foolish. You will not be able to use all the advantages of strength if you wear them like a badge. The lesson is to keep your power hidden. Have it, but don't use it. The Ace of Swords talks about power. Power is like a two-edged sword. It cuts the adversary and the wielder as well. It's great to have power. It's painful to use it.
What happens when the opportunity of the ace is not accompanied by effort?
Yeah, and I think we've touched on that. Without effort, aces are like a lost opportunity, something that flitted by your life. It was within your grasp, but lack of action let that time slip away, and it's no longer available to you. It's like a lucky chance that has just passed you by.
And SG Steve 2 asks, would love to hear how you might read the four aces if you pulled them on your birthday.
That'd be very rare. It would be it would be a message like the universe is telling you to get off your ass. To get four aces in a reading suggests that you have the opportunity to do anything, but it requires your effort, and that's not in evidence right now. It's profound, it's optimistic, but it also is putting the onus on the person whose fortune is being told to do something with the good fortune that comes into their life. It's not enough to be lucky. You have to be able to manifest that luck into something usable.
Well, isn't it just like a good singer? People that are excellent at whatever they're doing, but just because they're excellent, it doesn't mean they're going to be famous or productive, because
Yes.
they've got to put effort.
Absolutely, yeah. Latent greatness isn't a thing. Potential greatness isn't a thing. Thank you for tuning in, the first of our 4x4 series, and next week we'll move into the 2 cards. Have a great day. Bye for now.